We'll now check together how's the reporting, how does the report system works, and what kind of information we can extrapolate from here. So, as you can see, we have some example over here inside our portal under the reports tab of what your summary and all the report data might look like. So, in this case, from reports you can collect all information related to the unique users engaged and how many journeys are being effectively being using into your product. Now keep in mind that the data will be starting to get collected as soon as you deploy some content. If you don't deploy content live, no data will get collected. It's also important to say that we don't collect user data, but also behavior over the journey behavior data. So everything which is related to the usage of the deployed journeys. So as you can see here, this might be some example of what some data might look like. You will have the timeline overview of the journeys launched based compared to the engaged users, and if there is any issue. Now you can also pinpoint the issues, and the issues are usually how many drop-offs, or meaning the user is just quitting my journey, and there might be additional causes for like many causes for this. It might be that the journey wasn't useful for him, or it may be because it's confusing or too much information, or it might also be caused by failures. So failures will be that the journey or the some elements might not be reliable enough, and therefore the journey fails for the end user. So you can also pinpoint from here. Generally, the higher the blue line is for journey launches, and the less issues we have, the better the content and the guidance overall is. Now over here we have all the additional information about all our journeys. So how many unique users you have for each journey, and how many runs for each journey. So you also from here you have the basic or general idea of what are the most launched journeys, what are the most used, most common ones, so that you also understand which processes inside your application are the hardest ones. And by getting this information, you can also extrapolate that you may need to improve that specific process explanation, or have additional journeys to cover some corner cases into that. You also have the journey usage by month, which indicates to you the constant over time of how many journeys have been triggered and which ones, so that you get also an idea of adoption, if there's been an increase or decrease over time. You have a trend overlook, which shows you which one are the most commonly used in a different kind of graphical way, so that you see which are your target application trends for journeys. And then we have other information, which might be how many unique users have been completing the specific journeys, and now how much of those journeys have been completed in percentage. So the highest, the best situation, it would be to have the 100% users completed 100% of journeys. How to increase this kind of number, you can see from the lower reports. So as you can see here from the legend that we have here, we can see that the light blue is success, which is very good. The blue is drop off, which would mean whenever somebody is quitting the journey, and the yellow ones are failures. So drop offs might happen because of different reasons. You may have some too complex journey, or the user may already know the process and hence doesn't really need to have the journey explaining the process, and that's why it quits. But what you should definitely focus more are about the failures. So the percentage of failure over here indicates that there is some technical issue into your journey. So how do we pinpoint where the failures are, and how do we actually search for them? If you lower here, you also have the monthly or the split of over the timeline of failures and drop-offs, which can give you additional information to whatever you're doing. But and you also have the time effort for the steps. So in the for each journey, sorry, and over here you also see the performance. So you don't want a journey to be too long or too short. Of course, the shorter the best, because the process would be quicker. Some processes might need a bit more time, but if you have some journey which has 18 minutes over average time of completion, it might be that the journey is too slow and it needs improvement. But as I was saying over here, we need to pinpoint where the issues are so that we can go fix them. How do we look for them? We go into journey details. So over here, we can select the specific journey. In this case, let me go up again and I'll pick the one that has most failures. So the how to create a new opportunity. So I'll go back down here into journey details and go to how to create a new opportunity. Now over here, I see over time also what are the results of like failures or drop-offs or success. And I see that it became like it's still constant, so that might mean that there is some specific issues which occurs constantly over time. How do we pinpoint the issue? We pinpoint it with the step analysis. So by checking this step analysis, we can see which step is actually failing. So I see that my first step over here doesn't really have a problem, but I see that step 2 has a lot of failures. So what I would do is I go back into my editor, I open this specific journey, and I go check the second step and eventually test it and understand what is wrong, what is causing this kind of issue, fix it, so then we can improve it. And once you fix it, I would have it tested for a few other weeks and then go back again into the report system and continuously check. So you can see this kind of pattern. You would reach at the optimal point on which you would have the journeys without failures at all. That would mean you have very good solid journeys for the end users. You can also lower your drop-off rates by simply then checking the content and understanding what is am I giving too much information, or can I make it more simpler and a bit more effective for the user so they don't need to close it or just quit the journey because they didn't understand. So I can also extrapolate this and get also a general idea on which steps this happens. I also have the time effort for each step over here, which also makes me understand which step is lower, which step can be improved in terms of performance, how to make them much quicker for the end user. The best option, the best way or achievement that you can have for the journey is that the journey actually follows, like it takes as less time as possible to get done. So this is the whole report system, which can help you understand how the deployed product goes and behaves with your users, if they're engaging, and now to actually improve said journeys continuously.